And welcome back, everybody. We have the manure spreading finished. We are going to go back to the farm and spread a little bit of slurry around the grass fields for the rest of this episode. But first, we are taking Frederick on down to our furthest field, and we're going to start, cultivating in the cover crops. And then my brother's going to come with the Landy, and he's going to pick us up. We're going to run into the pub together for a late dinner since we haven't spent hardly any time together. So I am getting this started, and he's going to basically be on it all night long. So yeah, we're gonna get this started for him, so not to worry. All right, I just got back from dinner, and my brother is going well in this field. He's got a lot of green over there left to cultivate, so this will be quite a long night for him. He's gonna get it all done, though, and we are gonna head back to the farm and start the slurry. So I'll see you guys over on that side. I won't make you endure that long drive. Look at that. That is, you can see our steel bins all the way from down here. The sun is setting fast. We have got a lot of slurry to spread. I'm kind of curious, what is the rate that this thing is draining? Okay. You know what? Well, I don't know how much of this field we'll be able to do. This will be interesting. Let's head all the way to the corner here. And we want to raise. There we go. It took me a while to find the right button there. All right, you know what? We're going to have to need our headlights soon, especially with the shade of all of these trees. Let's give ourselves a little bit more room there, and let's swing around here. Let's get in from the cab, and let's head back on this way. So a little bit more, and we want to make sure we hit that side, so I think gotta drop it now. Okay, off we go. We're just doing the outline of the field to give ourselves a little bit of room here. And yeah, this field, I don't know if Bullet Bill started off all these fields with one fertilizer layer, but I actually checked the map, and that's what it looks like they have. So this is actually the second fertilizer layer for these fields. Actually, I'm going to get in a little bit more because it looks like that is the field edge right there that my left tire is on. Sorry if my voice is a little bit scratchy. I was, I was up a little bit late last night screaming as the Astros beat the Yankees. I was really excited about that. Sorry for anybody out there who might be a Yankees fan, but well, I grew up in Illinois rooting for the Cubs, who always lost, so naturally I hate, well, that might be a strong word. I dislike extremely any team that routinely wins, and that was the Yankees for basically all of my childhood, and so I think I celebrated a little bit too much when the Astros were scoring their runs, and some of those situations were kind of stressful. So, for those of you who aren't sports fans, it's actually interesting. It feels, I don't know how to explain it. It feels like, well, I even did I read a research study that basically the same parts of your brain light up and you experience the exact same emotions when you are a sports fan and you're invested and you are watching a team win or lose, as opposed to if you were actually playing it. So really, you might wonder, like, well, it's just a game, like, you're just watching the game, like, why do you even care that much? It's not like you're losing. Well, I mean, to the brain and to your body, you kind of feel, you do feel a lot of the same emotions that the actual players feel. Your body gets stressed out. You feel the same joy and the same elation. Obviously, it's different because you're not actually there in reality. But for a large part of the brain in your body, it actually does think that you're there participating. And so during the stressful moments, your body exhibits stress. During the joyous moments where when your team scores runs, that's why it feels so good when you're a sports fan and your team wins, because in some ways, physically, it is like you are actually there experiencing it yourself. So it's not just a bunch of crazy sports fan, it's just the way that the body is actually made, and it's made to experience those things. So it's kind of a little bit crazy. Let's check on our level. Yeah, so I think we'll have to fill up when we get to the end of the field if we don't run out first. But yeah, that's why my voice is just a little bit horse here, and it's also a thunderstorm this morning, and I kind of woke me up early. I am trying to get this episode recorded before I head off to church, so that way I can edit it later today. So I will hopefully not have a problem doing that, and hopefully my voice does not run out. It's a little bit crazy right now. Sorry about this. It certainly is hard to get that machine through. You know, if this machine was any bigger, I would have to have a bigger tractor with a bigger turning radius, and I don't know if I could make it. That turn is kind of tight. Let's check how much. I think we have enough for maybe 1.5, hopefully at least 2 more loads here before we have to start going getting slurry from Little Wool Hope. Let's look real quick. I'm curious. So animals, we're going to have to take care of 31,000. I think that is basically 2 more loads. So actually, that's decent for, you know, all things considered. Not getting cows until the winter. I think that's pretty decent. All right, let's back up in there, and we can probably just leave this open as we cut myself on some barbed wire there. Okay, let's a little bit more. There we go. Okay, while we are filling up there with the poo, you can see the level there on the tanker. And let's check how things are going around the farm. Well, we already saw that we have to fill up on... Yeah, we're going to have to take care of the animals, but that won't be until tomorrow. We have finished, in case you didn't gather from the little 5-second cinematic at the very beginning of the video, we finished spreading the manure, and we can close this thing. We can finish spreading, we have finished spreading the manure, and we are going on to, let's see, we are going on to, my brother is doing the cover crops, and he's basically just going to cultivate all of those fields all the way on up through here, and then we'll be ready to plant. And the soil temperatures are getting a little bit warmer, almost warm enough to plant some wheat, probably by the time we get done with all of that. Look at that, it's almost 7 o'clock at night, and the temperature is still 9 degrees Celsius in the air. So the soil temperature should be warming up nicely, even if the low is, well, -1, it says. Fortunately, I don't think that'll be enough to slow us down much. The earlier we plant in spring, the better. Remember, this is day 2, so it'd be awesome if we get all the crops planted by the end of tomorrow. However, I think that'd probably be a bit of a stretch. That would be, yeah, it's just, you know, honestly, if we could have started cultivating the cover crops on the first day and we didn't have manure to spread, then I think we could have done that. But right now, I think we'd be really, really lucky to get that done. But I don't know, maybe I should skip sleep a couple nights and, well, I mean, it'd be just one night, and just get everything done, because I think that would be highly beneficial to our farm, because I really want to get those crops in the ground sooner, so we can harvest them sooner, so we can plant the cover crop sooner, so then we can, you know, because there's going to be a cycle there where we're going to have to spread manure and slurry on the field and then plant the cover crops. So, you know, the earlier we can get to that harvest, the better, which is, you know, this is still really foreign to me, because I am used to the fact that you don't get done with the harvest. Like, we're just now getting done with the harvest in real life, and it is, you know, almost, no, it's about a week away from Halloween. And, you know, the bigger the farms, they will probably be going all the way until Halloween, maybe a little bit past. You know, and it's a relatively good season. Some seasons you're harvesting into November if it's really wet, and the crops just haven't had a chance to dry down, and the mud, you know, the fields are muddy. So, you know, that's a thing. I don't know. it's a little bit different here getting the harvest done in the summer. I mean, that's just completely foreign to me, but that's when the crops are ready based on what you plant, based on this, fictional real life location area type map of the UK, then hey, I don't have a problem doing that. So, it allows us to get our fall field work in a lot easier and these cover crops down faster. So I like that idea, and it is getting hard to see where we already spread the slurry. There we go. If anybody is interested, City Skylines came out with a new update for their DLC. I'm interested in that one, but I don't know. I stopped playing City Skylines, so here we go. I think the rest of the day is going to be about other games. Just forewarning, if you don't want to hear about other games, probably skip to the conclusion of this episode. I'll probably put a timestamp in there so you don't have to endure this, but City Skylines released an update, and I stopped playing City Skylines a long time ago just because I realized that I love building things, but only, oh my goodness, where is the, okay, you know what, I think we're going to have to switch to outside the cab, because it is getting really hard to see where that line is. Anyway, I stopped playing certain types of building games because building is a stress relief to me, but the fact that you have to try to micromanage, it's, the way that you do it in City Skylines is annoying to me because, so you start out your city, and then, let's do one more loop over here to give us a little bit more room to turn around on. So you start out your city, and you start out small, and I don't mind that. I love that. I love starting out small, building up big, but what is annoying to me is you have to keep going back. Okay, now I have to add water. Now I have to add, heated water to, now I have to add, I forget all the things. Now I have to add sewers. Now I have to go back and add schools. And then, like, when everything's perfect, like, now I have to add fire. Now I have to add police. And then now I have to add parks. Now I have to add, entertainment. Now I have to redo all these streets because they're not big enough. Now I have to do this. Like, probably, I don't like that because probably my favorite part in City Skylines is managing traffic flow. I think traffic flows are fanatical. I think it's fascinating, and I did a lot of research, about what people do for real life traffic management, and it is amazing. And if you don't know Colossal Order, they created 2 games before called Cities in Motion, where all you do is manage traffic, and I love those. Granted, it wasn't as much city building. You didn't have a chance to build the roads. I think you could, but they were basically all in place already, so I kind of didn't like that part of the game, but I did really enjoy managing traffic. It's a lot of fun, and that's probably my favorite part when you get a city advanced enough and you have traffic congestions. Like, then you're like, okay, how do I get these people to wherever they're going faster? So you analyze, where they're going. Are they shopping? Are they working? Where's their home? What's the deal? Can I arrange public transportation here? Will public transportation slow down the cars because the road's not big enough and the bus stops take up an extra lane? It could hurt you. It could be more beneficial. And so, should I install an interstate to relieve some of this traffic through the middle of the city? How many houses do I destroy? It's a fascinating concept, but I hated having to go back and deal with all the other things. And yeah, so anyway, that is the part of the game I really did not like. It felt like way too much micromanaging. I like to manage. I don't, a lot of the time, like to micromanage unless it's a game about micromanaging. So for example, I started playing RimWorld and Oxygen Not Included. Those games are actually a lot of fun because you're building up your base. You start out small, you build big, but it's fun because, I don't know, it's just, for whatever reason, I don't like City Skylines very much. I started out loving it, but it just grew to where I hated always having to go back and reconfigure my city for something new. And it got really annoying. I didn't like, it's just, I don't know. I guess I'm not a city planner at heart because a lot of people love that. But I prefer games like that have a little bit more of, well, like Factorio, for example. You don't have to deal with stupid stuff. You just get to build your factory. Yes, you have to make sure that you are always, don't want to back all the way in there. You have to make sure that you're always getting the right amount of resources, you have enough resources, but it's amazing because you don't have to deal with public order or happiness and, you know, fickle things like that. It's just you and a beautiful factory, and it makes management fun. I've also started playing Oxygen Not Included in RimWorld, as I already mentioned. Those games are fun. I think, I don't know, they're different. They're both really awesome, though. I don't know. If I had to choose one that I liked more right now, I would say Oxygen Not Included. It's also made by I forget the company, but you might have heard of Don't Starve. If I'm not mistaken, they made that game as well. RimWorld, I'm not sure who is making, but Factorio is, well, they're made by an indie startup. I don't think they've made any games before them, but Factorio has some of the highest ratings on Steam. I think second highest, maybe only to Team Fortress, and it has like over 20,000 positive reviews and only 300 negative. It's something like that. It is absolutely amazing how good that game is. And the indie games, I'll be careful because I know some people might rely on my opinion for whatever reason, but I generally am scared of games from indie developers that aren't proven, and, you know, it kind of looks a little shaky. These indie developers, Factorio, for example, I think is the best example of an early access game ever done. They have never, they produce what's called a Friday fact sheet, or Friday fun facts, I believe, every single Friday. And without fail, they have never failed in almost, 2 or 3 years now. They have never failed to produce a Friday update on their game. They come out with constant updates. You know what? It even goes further than that. They are refining a game now that I would have viewed complete probably 2 years ago. I mean, they're just continually making it. They don't have to. They've sold how many millions of copies? And they could have said 2 years ago, okay, our game's complete. Everything else is going to be DLC, or, you know what, we'll do future updates. They are like perfectionists. They are going back and, you know, they decided, hey, our graphics aren't quite up to par for what we would like, so we're introducing high-res graphics, graphic packs, and they're going through and they're updating every part of the game. They changed they overhauled the trains, oh my goodness, there's just, I can't even tell you how many different updates they had, but the game was basically completed. From my perspective, I mean, it's more complete now, certainly, but I had several hundred hours on the game, and I could have played the game throughout all time probably a year or two ago. It's that good, and they just keep on making newer and newer updates. It's amazing. Like I said, they are perfecting a game that basically does not need perfecting. It is a finished product. It has been for a few years now, but they just keep on pouring money and time and development into the game because that is the type of developers they are. They're a small company. They're not beholden to any, you know, higher publisher that says, hey, you know what, you're done. This game's enough. We don't need to spend any more time and money on this game. Let's create something new. They get to do it because that's the game that they created, and they get to choose when it is released. And so that is awesome. That is very encouraging to see companies like that just strive for perfection. And I see, granted, Oxygen Not Included and RimWorld, I don't know as much the full scoop on because I haven't been playing or following them as long. Oxygen Not Included, like I said, I would not be scared of them because they are a proven developer. RimWorld, they might not be as good as Factorio as producing regular updates about the game, but RimWorld is a completed game. You could play that for hundreds and hundreds of hours, just like Factorio was a couple years ago. and you could be satisfied with that game. So if they left the face of the earth, if they left the game as it currently is now, you would not be disappointed with that one. And Oxygen Not Included is almost to that stage. You could play it for, well, I mean, people have played it for hundreds of hours. It's probably not to the same point as Factorio. They're just, granted, I haven't played it quite as long as the others, but there just aren't quite as many systems in place to give it that needed depth and variability. But it, well, I mean, it might actually be to that point. I just haven't played it enough. But like I said, Oxygen Not Included has the thing going for it where they are somewhat proven developers, having created a few really good games before, even if they are smaller games like Don't Starve. I don't think that you have to worry about that one in the slightest. And at the worst, it's, you know, how much is the game? $20? 25, I think, maybe? And you can get hundreds of hours of gameplay out of it. You know, I don't even have as much gameplay out of some of my AAA games. Like, Total War Warhammer was great, but I think I only have 100 hours in that, and that's $60, so, you know, I bought it brand new. So $60 for that game versus how much for, you know, I can basically get Factorio, RimWorld, and Oxygen Not Included for, and I'm doing it again, for the same price as that game. So yeah, I would not worry in the slightest about getting either one of those games, and I will hopefully have some gameplay from RimWorld and Oxygen Not Included soon up on this channel. I think that they are very well deserved to go out and buy. I don't know, but I do know that this is going to be a very long drive back and forth, getting a lot of slurry for our grass fields. I do at least want to finish, you know, some of these grass fields getting fertilized. A little bit more work now will go a long way in mowing. You know, you get more yield when mowing, therefore you get more bales with less, you know, your bale density is higher in a field, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And that means that you have to travel further to pick up bales, and you get more bales in less fields, so I might not even have to cut all of my fields earlier. Yeah, there's just a lot of benefits, and it does take a lot of time to travel down here and get the extra slurry. I think that I will probably save all of my slurry in the future years for the grass, and you know, so that way I don't have to do this. I gotta keep the slurry up there home, close to home. But you know, my brother, we're also gonna have to take some fuel down to him before the night is over, otherwise he's gonna run out. In case you missed that bright red thing in the bottom left hand corner of the screen, that's been there for a long time. And yeah, so I think that, I don't know how eventful this episode has been, but I think that based on my voice, I think that I will probably stop you probably after I get this slurry and start headed back. I want to make sure that you see where that's at in case you missed it when I was picking up manure. But yeah, they are over here at the Little Woolhope Farm. Anyway, I think that I will say goodbye after this because, well, honestly, normally I love to talk, which you guys might have surmised, but it's actually kind of painful to talk right now, and I just don't know if I have it in me to keep talking. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I put a lot of energy into my episodes. It's not something that I try to do, but it's just something that happens because, well, I love Farming Simulator, and I love farming games, and I love farming in real life, and so it just happens naturally, but it does take a lot of energy out of me, and I'm getting kind of tired since I didn't sleep a lot last night. So yeah, I think that I might go after this, but oh man, like I'm just feeling tired even now. Let's look and see. Well, I guess we won't be able to see from that view. Let's go on over to right here, and we can see it looks like he is finishing up maybe one or two more rows, and then my brother will basically be done with his job. That looks like a beautifully cultivated field, and He's going to have to go all the way up. That's going to take all night for him. He might not actually get done all night, but fortunately he has GPS. He doesn't have to try and stay awake. Well, I mean, he does have to stay awake. He has to turn around on his own, but, you know, he gets to stay on line straight. So that's nice for him. Actually, I was looking at that field, and I don't know what happened when I planted around the edge, but there's a lot there where it didn't get all the way to the field edge, and it was the same with this field right there. Along the field edge, there just wasn't that much, and I don't really know why. But anyway, I think, yeah, so we do have maybe one more pass of oilseed radish, but I think that should just about do it for this episode. So anyway, I wanted to say goodbye one last time, and don't forget that little bell icon. If you want to be notified of every episode that I produce, be sure to hit the bell icon next to the subscribe tab if you have already subscribed. And if you have not subscribed, I hope that you do if you enjoyed me. But, of course, if you did not enjoy me, well then, yeah, don't subscribe. And anyway, thanks guys. I hope that I think I already said I hope you enjoyed. I'm like a broken record. And I think it's probably, we'll just chalk it up to my tiredness and my exhaustion due to my ugly voice hair. So I hope my voice wasn't too much of a pain for you guys to listen to. It certainly was a pain to talk, and I will see you guys all again on Wednesday, when hopefully we will be commencing the planting on day 3. Yeah, I don't know if that'll happen or not, so we'll just have to see. I will, yeah, see you guys Wednesday. Okay, here we go. Bye-bye right now, I guess. Yeah, okay. We will say, well, it's hard to stop when I have my momentum up, so I'll say goodbye right now. Thanks, everybody, for watching, again, for the 20th time. Okay. For real this time, goodbye.